Hey everybody, this is what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. Senator Susan Collins, the big talker today, deciding to not run for governor. We'll hear all sorts of reactions from all over the state.
All right, imagine your child needs some medical care. Your insurance company says it's not going to pay for it. We will have one woman's story.
And a former News Center anchor sent Twitter over the edge last night. We'll tell you why.
This is News Center Now. Senator Susan Collins ended months of speculation today, saying she will not run for governor. She used a speech at the Penobscot Bay Chamber of Commerce in Rockport to make the announcement official this morning.
Collins told the crowd she had spent months trying to make the decision, and the prime factors for her are the continuing battle over reforming Obamacare and the, quote, hyper-partisan climate in Washington. Collins said that as much as she would like for the chance to be governor, she believes her place is in Washington to continue the fight on those issues.
In the end, when I looked at what I've been able to do for the state of Maine, and I realized I gave a pretty long list in my speech, but believe it or not, it wasn't a complete list, and I felt that I can do more for Maine right now by staying in the Senate. And the national issues are so weighty and difficult right now that I want to be involved.
She heard a wide range of opinions from Maine people during the past few months, but she thinks the majority also wanted her to stay in the Senate. And she also said she had no doubt she could have won the Republican primary and the general election if she had chosen to run.
All right, so obviously you guys have a lot to say about this, so let's check it out. Matt Levine says she's done great things for us at BIW, but I think it's time for a change. I don't believe that politics should be a part of that.
And Matt Levine says she has done great things for us at BIW, but I think it's time for a change. Don't believe that politics should be a career.
And Haley says she just needs to retire. Hashtag senators need term limits too. All right, so when you're looking for experts in the field of politics, we turn around in our newsroom because we're with Pat Callahan. So, I mean, clearly you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. I don't remember such an anticipated announcement on whether or not someone was going to run for office.
Well, she's certainly in an unusual position in that she has accumulated a lot of power in Washington. She has been, she's number 15 in seniority in the Senate. That's a pretty big deal, and that's only going to keep growing. And she has proven that by being a centrist, and there aren't many of those left because the center has been kind of hollowed out, she has influence. And so when a big issue comes along that she feels strongly about, she can help influence the way that goes. She is a reliable Republican vote for the most part, perhaps 80% or more. But as we saw in the health care votes, when she feels it's not right for Maine, she's able to say no and have that vote stick.
In our post poll yesterday, it was overwhelming people from Maine who voted that wanted her to stay as a senator. John McCain tweeted out, "Glad to hear my friend Senator Collins will remain in the Senate. She's one of the finest senators I've ever known." This was a popular decision locally and nationally.
Right. We talked with NBC political director Chuck Todd. You'll hear more of that at 6 o'clock and on 207 tonight. But he said there are establishment Republicans in Washington very glad that she's staying because they would like to see someone rebuild the center, and many Democrats because they want to know they've got someone they can talk to, somebody that they can pick up the phone and work on issues with when it isn't a hyper-partisan thing. And that's important.
All right, Pat, thank you so much for the analysis. Of course, we have an expert in the newsroom. How lucky are we?
There you go, right?
Well, I know Don Kerrigan, too. That helps.
Of course,
they
we have a
actually
couple.
sit next to each other. It's like the dream corner of the newsroom. So you have to pay admission to get in over there. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thanks,
Appreciate
Pat.
it.
All right, it can be exhausting and frustrating. You or your child needs medical care, but your insurance company says it won't pay for it.
Yeah, more times than not, that's pretty much where things end. But it doesn't always have to be that cut and dry.
Hi, this is Sylvia Green calling regarding my daughter. Hi, this is Sylvia Green. I was just calling regarding my daughter. Hi, this is Sylvia Green. I'm just calling about my daughter.
This is how Sylvia Green has been spending the majority of her days, on the phone and going through paperwork as she tries to get the treatment for her daughter's condition covered by insurance.
I have to push. I mean, I can't sit and do nothing because no one cares as much as we do. You know what I mean? Like, no doctor, no teacher, no one will care as much as we do. So just making sure that we advocate all the time for her is basically my full-time job.
Sylvia's 16-year-old daughter, Caitlin, suffers from dysautonomia, which can be debilitating. It causes her shortness of breath, altered heart rate, dizziness, and nausea. Caitlin was forced to miss almost 6 months of school last year because she could barely get out of bed or off the couch. No medicine or treatment was working until the Greens went to Portland Chiropractic Neurology and tried tilt-table treatments.
Immediately, like within a couple weeks, started feeling better. Like it was like a different kid. We were like amazed that we had our kid back.
That was the good news. The bad news was the Greens insurance company limited Caitlin to 20 visits a year. She requires 5 times that amount.
You know, it's really hard to, first of all, you know, be a parent and deal with all this stuff and try to figure it out. And then to also have to deal with insurance, to try to figure out how to learn how to fight for that. And then also, you know, trying to make sure she's getting enough schooling. And you know what I mean? It's just really like a huge job that I feel like, oh.
Sylvia decided to appeal the insurance company's decision, which a lot of people may not realize is your right to do. Jim Ward is the president of Patient Advocates.
The insurance policies by law have to be very specific in outlining the process for appeal, but the reality is that those particular pages of an insurance policy are legal gobbledygook to the average person. So they tend just to throw up their hands in despair in trying to read it. But the fact is, those provisions are there.
After 2 separate appeals were denied, the insurance company did find a plan that would work for the Greens so Caitlin can get the treatment that she needs covered. And the bottom line, I think the point of the whole story here is when usually you call, the insurance company says no, and you're mad or you're frustrated and you're disappointed, and then you just kind of let it go. And you know, Sylvia was like, I'm not letting this go. I'm going to keep pushing. And as we heard from the advocate, you know, you do have rights. If your insurance company tells you no, you don't have to stop there. And it's on everybody to, you know, to keep pushing and keep pursuing and keep being an advocate for yourself, for your kids, your family members, whatever it is.
Persistence is key.
Absolutely.
Persistence will get you everywhere. Persistence, though, for Keith Carson, I'm wanting.
I'll take no for an answer either, dude, I guess. You can say that, right? Yeah. Remember that dressing room? It's coming soon to a newsroom near you. All right, good story, Lee. Let's get on to the weather. 57 in Portland, 56 in Rutland, 57 in Bangor. We actually got to around 58, 59 degrees in a lot of spots with full sunshine. That'll about do it. Overnight lows will be a lot more temperate than they were last night. We got into the 20s in a lot of spots last night, but the air mass is shifting, getting warmer here tonight in through tomorrow. So we're not going to get much lower than around 50 around the coastline, and then mid-40s inland, and even the coolest spots probably around 40 degrees early tomorrow morning. But again, the general infusion is warmer air. Visible satellite showing the shield of clouds approaching here. So with that warmer air, it's more unstable. And you can almost see where that air mass is right here, basically to the east of Toronto and Ottawa and up into Quebec. That's where there's the warmer air moving in. There's also more clouds with it. So that will be our day on Saturday. Considerable clouds is the best way to put it, and a couple of isolated showers. I don't think Saturday is a bad day, but it's mild as well. Temperatures in the upper 60s, right around 70 degrees for a high temperature. Then the warm front moves through Saturday night into Sunday morning, and it positions itself to the north of the state on Sunday. That allows a lot more warm air to get in Sunday afternoon, and I think, Lee, to the Patriots, are they 1 o'clock? The 1 o'clock game? In New York. All right, so but watching it, it'll be around 70 degrees for a lot of us, up to 75, 76 by the time the game is over. So that is how our weekend looks, but there is a hard frost coming in the forecast. We'll talk about that, guys, in a few minutes.
All right, thanks,
Casey. Thank you very much, sir. When we come back, how far would you go to defend your significant other? Would you make a fake social media account? Oh boy, Katie's got the social stop coming up.
All right, Lee, we know you love your wife. Shout out to Karen Goldberg, by the way. How far would you go to defend her?
Publicly?
Yes, and on social media especially.
Yeah, pretty far.
Pretty far.
I'd
Would
say,
you
sure.
also anonymously tweet at people to defend her?
No, I think I would own it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's what Roger Goodell's wife did. According to the Wall Street Journal, Jane Skinner Goodell, who, by the way, used to work for News Center back in the 90s, admitted to running a fake account on Twitter to defend her husband. The report says she made the Twitter handle @4argument and would fight back against negative tweets about the NFL commissioner, and let's just face it, there are a lot of them. She told the Wall Street Journal it was a silly thing to do and done out of frustration and love. And it wasn't just regular tweets, too. She would fight back at reporters, including a reporter with the Wall Street Journal. Apparently, there was one tweet where the reporter posted a picture of some Patriots fans with the NFL commissioner ahead of the first preseason game, and the caption said, "Roger Goodell with 3 guys who will be disowned by their families tomorrow." And then @4argument replied with, "Why is everyone so immature, including you? Let's celebrate the new season." She's feisty. She's feisty. If you're looking to creep on the account, bad news, it is private now. But it's kind of interesting stuff.
Well, I mean, first of all, this is his wife. Second of
Yes.
all, she's a journalist or a former journalist if she's not, currently
Right.
working. So she's got a skill set where she's good with
Yeah.
verbal judo. She got the verbal judo down.
She does.
So,
She does.
well, good for her. I think it's a riot. So I don't know if
it
people
is
are mad at her or
hysterical.
they think she should have done that. I think it's great. So
I mean,
I'm
it
also
is
a fan of hers. So that
Past
that
the
helps.
popcorn, I think, is more than anything.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
All right. Well, your full forecast is next on News Center with Keith. And now that Susan Collins is out of the race, Keith has delusions. He's trying to run, maybe, but Jess is not having it. All right, here's a cute story for this fabulous Friday. A family from Tennessee is visiting Maine and needs help from locals, and of course, in pure Maine fashion, Mainers stepped up to the plate.
The family with their 5-year-old son, Eddie, and baby daughter are visiting Maine for the very first time. Now, they were shopping in Portland yesterday downtown when Eddie's bunny, Bean,
it's a cute
decided
name.
to go on a little Maine adventure.
Eddie's mom said her son was so sad and just wanted Bean back. Eddie's had the bunny since birth. His parents took to Craigslist to ask for help, and luckily Bean and Eddie were reunited shortly after we posted the story to our website. A couple of Mainers reached out saying that they found the stuffed animal.
I saw the Portland
Happy
police had
ending.
also tweeted out a picture saying that there was an APB out for this to reunite the bunny and the owner. So
A bolo, be on the lookout.
ended very well. It
He's going to
ended very
have
well.
that thing for a while now. I had a pillow that I think this is hygienically horrible up until a couple of years ago that I had had since I was like a kid. I had covers on it and stuff, but
Were
my
you still
mom
carrying it
eventually came
around?
in. She was like, "You got to get rid of this."
I don't
thing."
want to embarrass my
Yeah.
children, but my 19-year-old possibly still has something that he's had since he was little.
Yeah, this is
Way
what
to
happens.
out him, man.
Well, I didn't say what it was.
Yeah, could have been.
Now
could
we have
be
to ask
anything.
Tyler Goldberg.
Hopefully, it's not clothing. All right, chilly this morning. We get down to 33 in Portland, 29 in Lewiston, and 27 in Berlin. This is the coolest morning we've had statewide, and of course, that trend will continue. I think we have the next coolest one this coming Tuesday. Right now, we're sitting in the 50s, upper 50s in a lot of spots. Pretty comfortable, right? A lot of sunshine today, but that got us only around 58, 59 degrees. Few clouds moving on the visible satellite, and if you widen the picture out, you can see our next system here and all of the more unstable air back across the eastern Great Lakes. That's associated with this cloud cover. So what happens is this satellite is looking for temperatures in the atmosphere. What it sees too is that rising humidity and the clouds that go with it. So that's that air mass moving towards us for tomorrow, and it'll be a bit of a trade-off. If you look at the temperature map, you can see that warm air. St. Louis, Columbus, Ohio coming in at 73. So this is advecting in our direction for tomorrow, and really more so for Sunday when we could be in the mid-70s in a lot of spots in Maine. So here's high pressure that was in place today. That shifts out of the way. One warm front moves through tomorrow. Now tomorrow is warmer than it's been, but also the trade-off is a lot more clouds. It's been crystal clear the past 2 days. Not the case tomorrow. Considerable cloudiness, isolated showers around, and then another front moves through on Sunday morning, gets to Aroostook County. That gets us into a really mild flow on Sunday, and that's why I think we have our best chance at hitting the mid-70s there. Cold front comes through after that, much cooler for Monday, and Tuesday, again, I think we'll have a lot of us, for overnight lows at least, sitting in the 20s on Tuesday morning. Hour by hour forecast, here come the clouds. Tonight, some fog, certainly a possibility as well. Notice how tomorrow looks. There's holes in the cloud cover and some isolated showers. I don't think visually it's a great looking day for most of us, but it's mild, right around 70 degrees. And then here's Sunday, warm front moving through. As we talked about just a few minutes ago, Sunday afternoon, particularly over southern and mid-coastal Maine, could be in the mid-70s. So as the Patriots game's kind of wrapping up, it's going to be absolutely beautiful outside. Of course, at 4:30 this time of the year, it gives you about an hour and a half to enjoy it before the sun sets. But still, a mild weekend with those isolated showers around, clearing on Monday and Tuesday. Next week looks pretty fantastic. We get chilly, coldest yet is how I phrased it on Tuesday, but then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we start moderating again, back, and probably back into the mid-70s by next weekend. So if this trend continues, obviously we've got a situation where we're well above average for October, hugely above average so far.
Huge.
Yeah, and that's going to keep going for a while. There are signals in the super long range, the like irresponsible range, that the beginning of November is cold. But until then, it's looking mild.
I was going to say, I feel like we've been like flip-flopping, inconsistent, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like yesterday, I was going to say, last night I was actually cold for the first time in a while. It dropped
was
down to
chilly.
the 40s.
It got down to the 30s.
It's relative.
Jeez.
Cold is relative.
Right, yes.
30s is
not-
cold.
not-
It's
not-
not
oh,
relative.
really?
I'm very careful
Begging
with
for
using
30s
cold.
in a couple of months.
Exactly, because then what do I use in February?
Yeah.
So that's why I say cool, chilly.
You had put something on Twitter earlier looking for foliage, talking
Yeah.
about how, because we've talked a lot about it's not a great
It's kinda
weather
down here.
foliage year. Did you find a lot of pictures that were coming in that were good? Or?
I think there's spots. There's some. If you take a close-ups, there's really nice ones. When you take these big aerials, that's when it looks kind of mucky this year. So there's spots. But
Scientific
That'll look
word,
Mucky.
mucky. Write it down. All right, News Center Now continues after the break. All right, it's Friday the 13th, but more importantly, it is fifth quarter Friday.
Let's go.
Let's go. So News Center's Jessica Gagne is outside in Wells. Big game tonight, the hometown showdown. It's Wells and Lisbon. Neither team has lost. Both teams have huge amounts of fans. Let's go. Put a helmet on, Gagne. Get out there.
You pretty much took everything that I was going to say, Lee. Yeah, two undefeated teams going head-to-head here in Wells tonight. Fan bases are huge, so this place is definitely going to be rocking. As tourist season comes to a close in this seaside town, another season is ramping up.
It's kind of a rite of passage in the fall for around in a tourist town.
For many, closing up shop means more time to focus on high school football.
It brings the whole town together and the camaraderie.
You know, it's all to the credit of the kids because they're the ones that get it done on the field, and that brings the people out.
Wells got it done last year when the team brought home the Class C gold ball.
We know how good we are and how good we can be, so if we just play 100%, I think we can beat anyone.
Players say despite losing 19 seniors since then,
Reload instead of rebuild, as like Coach Roach always says.
they're confident they can make it back to the big show.
The majority of the players on our team know what it feels like, so we're all very hungry to get back there again.
We might be small, but we pack a punch.
In the home of the Moxie Festival is a team made up of the same stuff.
We keep it up, we work hard every year.
L's on their helmets, but none on Lisbon's record so far this season.
This was a team that wasn't really expected to do a whole lot in the preseason, and I think they've responded well. And with only 7 seniors, they've kind of taken upon themselves to outwork the competition.
They have the same perfect record as Wells, but the Greyhounds feel they are viewed as the underdogs.
Yeah, we're definitely the underdog. Nobody's picking us, but we just want to come out and shock the world.
A big test for both teams before the playoffs.
Well, I'm expecting us to have a good fight. I mean, it's going to be a really good game.
And kickoff here in Wells is at 7 o'clock. We'll have highlights from this game and all others on the 5th quarter at 11. And it's beautiful here right now, but I'm told by Ryan Breton, our meteorologist standing off camera, that it's going to get real cold tonight. So be sure to bring those blankets and bundle up.
All right, Jess, thank you very much.
I actually heard that Ryan did not come prepared, so it's ironic that he is saying that it's going to be
Then
cold.
he deserves to suffer, I'm just saying. All right, let's see what's coming up at 5:30 with Cindy Williams. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. Yeah, coming up at 5:30, Maine can finally stop holding its breath. Senator Collins has decided not to run for governor, but rather stay in the U.S. Senate. News Center's Don Kerrigan sat down with the senator to talk about her decision. We're going to have more on that. President Trump moves to start dismantling Obamacare. He says his new executive orders give customers more flexibility. Critics say those orders could be lethal to healthcare in this country. Those stories and much more coming up at 5:30. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Cindy.
Thank you very much.
All right, do we have brain drops?
Are we brain dropping?
I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear this in my ear. I was going to rant about flat earthers. Okay, well, let me just set the stage and hopefully we can pull it up in time here. If you're the rapper B.O.B., who is a pretty prominent rapper, especially down south, had this tweet of him standing in front of part of Atlanta, and he said, "If the earth is round, how come I can't see the curve?" So he's up on this mountain. And he actually started a GoFundMe for $200,000 to prove that the earth is flat. And I cannot believe that at this point, so I used to think people were just trolling about this, like just to have fun. And then I realized people legitimately think that this is a real thing.
And by the way, plot twist, it's already been proven that it's not.
Well, right, so what I was gonna show you here, I don't think we have the video, but what I was gonna show you is you can actually go on and you can see from the International Space Station a live feed. It's been going on for about 2 years, and you can click on it and you can see the Earth being round. But I can't, this blows my mind. Some astronauts from NASA replied to him and said, why don't you donate the $200,000 to Puerto Rico and not waste everybody's money and time with this flat Earth stuff. But I just can't believe that we're at this point in 2017 where we're actually talking about this. There we go. Okay, so there's the live feed of the Earth. This is shocking. The best CG I've ever seen now occurring. They're doing a little mission, it looks like, right now on the space station. And guys, if we have the tweets, that would be great too, because there's a couple of ridiculous things about this tweet that B.O.B. put out.
Well, listen, I'm all for people having different opinions and not everybody having to agree that whatever you're told is fact. I'm fine for independent thinking. But if you can literally see a picture of the Earth that is round, how could you then come and tell me that it's flat? Unless you just don't believe that this picture is real.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It has to. And I don't know.
Yeah, they don't believe that that's real. Actually, there was an interview done by one of our sister stations where he sat down with a couple of flat earthers, and he asked them about, well, if there's a flat Earth, why don't you fly to the end of it? And their response was that Antarctica is actually a big conspiracy. And so Antarctica actually envelops all the edges of the Earth. So nobody wants to go to Antarctica, right? Therefore, you never fly to the edge of the Earth because Antarctica actually goes all the way around. That's what they said.
But if you wanted to prove your point, and if that was what you believed, you said, okay, just go ahead and do that.
Should get a ticket.
Yeah,
probably there. The other thing is, obviously, flights that go over the poles, right, to get from one spot to another. I don't even know why we're talking about this. The point is, it's ridiculous. Stop it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to talk about it.
And we've been brain dropped with another Casey rant.
$200,000?
Ridiculous. Somebody gave $200,000 for that?
Yeah, give it to people who need money.
I will take a portion of that money.
Give it to me.
Student loans.
Right.
Kids.
They're worthy causes.
New Center at 5:30 starts right now.